Good morning, everyone. So today is the feast of St. James, and that is now St. James the Apostle, who should not be confused with the writer of the letter of James. That is a different James. It's like we had lots of Marys earlier in the week. We seem to have a lot of Jameses around the place too. Of course, it's Father James's feast day too, so we wish him a happy feast day. But this James we're looking at here is the brother of John, sons of Zebedee. And you'll remember that whenever we see significant things happening around the place, Jesus has three disciples with him. And that would be Peter, James, and John. And so today we see James being involved in that. Interestingly enough, or unfortunately enough, James was the first apostle to be martyred. And it was a silly thing. And Nero decided that he wanted to show how strong he was, and he was going to make a stand against these Christians, these irritating. So just to appease people, he had James put to death, had his head chopped off. Not such a nice thing to happen. But anyway, he was executed, martyred for his faith. The remains of James were moved around quite a lot, I'm afraid. But his relics ended up in Spain initially. And then people revered him because he was one of those that was within the European area. And you'll understand that Peter had been entombed in Rome, and Paul had been entombed in Rome, and the other apostles, in fact, had actually spread out around the continent and off to Asia and so forth. But James was, if you say, a local guy. And so people would come to make a pilgrimage to actually visit the site of where St. James was buried. This really only started developing, in fact, in the 19th century. It wasn't something that happened from the beginning of Christianity, but it was something that grew to that. Now, you want to say, well, why was it significant? Well, because he was the first apostle that was martyred. Yeah, that gave some significance. But also that he was very close to Jesus. And so people say, well, he was if you like, he was a senior apostle. Not really. But he was close to Jesus because we know a lot about him, and we know a lot about when things happen in the life of Jesus, that he was there together with the chosen ones. We might ask ourselves the question, people make pilgrimages to holy places. Do we make pilgrimages in our lives? They don't necessarily have to be to big sites like Fatima and Ngome and Medjugorje and Lourdes. Those are available, and it's really wonderful if we can do that, or pilgrimages even to Rome. But we've got pilgrimages within our own lives, within our own opportunity to do. We can make a pilgrimage on our own to our church, to our cathedral. In this Jubilee year, we're encouraged to do that, to make a special journey to go and visit a place that is special, a place which will help us to grow in our relationship with the Lord. Let's think about this weekend. We wish you a wonderful and a blessed day. God bless. Bye-bye.